Oh, this is a thought that came from me. Well, I have no idea if this is going to give me shit or not, but you know what? Fuck it. Was watching a video about a stream where Critical Drinker had another YouTuber named Melanie Mack. Seems like an okay girl. I've seen her a couple times on Twitter, and for some reason, one day she just started popping up more and more. But anyway, they're talking about Lara Croft, and I watched this again today, and two things kind of came about of that, which was one, it made me want to research Lara Croft and maybe use her in a series of videos I want to do in the future. The other thing was, it kind of got me thinking about how people say objectifying women is bad. Just objectification in general is bad. Mostly of women. I don't see a problem with it, to be perfectly honest. I don't see the issue. And I think it's mostly because the people who complain about objectifying women, they say nothing about the objectification of men. So it's only men that they want to punish, basically, or it's say they want them to look at something ugly while they have something nice to look at. To that I say, fuck those people. Oh no, I shouldn't have scratched it. That's me. What I want to say is actually less nice. And believe me saying fuck them is me being nice. That's my decency at play. But I see no problem with this because I think I'm a firm believer human beings like looking at stuff that is attractive and appealing. We don't like looking at ugly stuff. You think I like looking at my own reflection in the mirror every morning? I don't. And believe me, my reflection to me is not that good to look at. Then again, I have a sort of a complex. But anyway, I at least like the women in video games that let's say it's a romance option. I want them to at least look decent. And to those who say, oh, you just see them as nothing more than a sex object and who's only good for a sex appeal, no. Some of the women in video games I've liked. I liked them because they were both attractive and they were competent. I kind of want to touch on this in that said series that I'm trying to work on, but I have to get a PC first, and I still have to write down the stuff for the women. I've only gotten one down, and it's not about the women. Anyway, what I wanted to say on that was, or I hope to say on that is, some of these female characters we see in games, they are very competent. One example would be Morgan. She is attractive, and she is a very knowledgeable person and capable. Another one would be Chloe Frazier, who is both attractive and also very capable, who plays people. She plays them like a fucking fiddle. She is a good shot. She's quick on her. She's probably good at thinking in situations that doesn't give her much time to think. So she thinks on her feet. She's good at working a situation to her advantage, I guess would be the word, although that kind of makes her sound a little bit more opportunistic in a bad way than she actually deserves. But there's that. Or Lara Croft. The main thing, I can't remember if I said this already, but the stream was talking about Lara Croft, and I've never played a Lara Croft game. This video did get me wanting to research her, which I've started doing, just to see what the classic Lara Croft story was. Because I remember Osseo did a stream where he played one of the Tomb Raider games. Anyway, it seems like a decent character. I like the personality she gave off. From what I hear, she can be somewhat sociopathic, but she sounds like Dante. She sounds like Dante from Devil May Cry mixed with Nathan Drake. Both of whom I love as video game characters, but she's those two, but with tits. So, yeah, she's attractive, but she's also very competent. She's knowledgeable. She does well on her own. She's not a team player. And I kind of find those things hot, I'm not going to lie. But So no, this does not, I don't see these women as just something to beat it to. They have things about their character that I do like. I like the fact of Chloe, you never really know, like when we're in the game she's introduced in, what was it? Not Drake's Deception, Honor Among Thieves. you don't know. Sometimes it's hard to tell what side she's on, or if she's just playing you like she's playing everyone else. I kind of like that. I like how you never know what to make of her sometimes. And then by the third game, you kind of realize, yeah, she's not that bad of a person. She's loyal to a fault to a certain degree. Morrigan is, well, she's sympathetic. And I'll be kind of going off on tangents here. Or another female character I like is Miranda Lawson. And she could be a bitch when you first meet her, but she has layers to her. Probably doesn't help. Probably doesn't hurt that she has a nice accent, but anyway. So yeah, I just find this argument stupid that we can't have attractive women in games, but we can have attractive men, and it's only when and it's not like there aren't women like Lara Croft in real life. Now, sure, there's not a lot of them who are this like built the same way, who are not this attractive, but there are probably women like this who do exist. You just don't run into them every so often. You don't often run into curvy women. And what does this say? I remember Melanie Max said this, which was, what kind of message does this send to women who are curvy? That they aren't acceptable? Or they aren't tolerated by these activists who bitch about this stuff on a day-to-day basis because they have no real lives because they're losers? I mean, it's like the people who are bitching about a poo, who caused basically one of the, I believe Akash, a comedian who did a bit on a poo, said he was the most three-dimensional character in that series. And he was a good, I guess if you care about representation, he was a good Indian character for that. And these fuckers got that removed. I can see the same thing these feminists having that happen to female characters that we actually like. And it's really asinine. Actually, not just asinine, it's retarded. It's very, very stupid. Like, women, if you have a problem with this and you want it banned, then you also have to have it banned that we can have attractive men in games. That's all I'm saying. Be consistent or shut the fuck up. And also, I think this also comes from the group of people who don't even buy games. They just bitch online about this sort of stuff. These pseudo-intellectuals who are like, oh, this is offensive, this is an unrealistic standard. So is Hugh Jackman, for the most part. He actually has to work out like shit to get in the shape he was in for his movies. So is, well, I guess Dwayne Johnson might also be another example of this. I mean, it's not impossible for men to get in that good of a shape. It just takes a lot of work. And hit the gym more than once or twice. I think. I've had a high metabolism, so I've, for the most part, not had to worry about getting too fat in my life, so I've never hit the gym. Probably doesn't help that I've never really entertained the idea of getting in a relationship, but anyway, this whole argument is stupid. There is nothing wrong with objectification for the most part, unless you are doing something really stupid. Like if it's a game made for adults like M-rated or T-rated, then I see no issue. And yeah, no. I see no issue with this. This is stupid. This is stupid. We should be allowed to have beautifully attractive women, just as we have men who are, what's the word? Not raunchy. Like, we should be allowed to have attractive men and attractive women in games. Now, if you want to be more realistic, fine, but I find the whole realism argument sucks ass through a straw. And it only works when they want to justify their bullshit. If we use it and say Kingdom Come Deliverance is supposed to be realistic, they say that's a straw man. Or if we wanted things to be based in Polish myth, like with the Glitcher 3, or as I like to call it, Elric Ripoff 3. I'll let you know I'm calling it that for this. But anyway, if we say it's supposed to be based in Polish myth, they say, oh, this is just an excuse for there to be no diversity or representation. Which, fuck that argument. So I find this argument for realism is also shallow and not really that credible. It's just they use that excuse when it benefits them. So what is the real problem with objectifying men and women? I mean, they're not real characters. They're not real people. They're just something for you. They're just supposed to be eye candy. Sometimes. And also eye candy that has, like, good things about them as a character. Or at least that's how I look at it. This is probably going to sound very stupid of a rant, but you know what? Fuck it. I wanted to talk about it, and I felt like shooting from the hip on this one. And I didn't feel like writing it all down, because I would probably have lost the enthusiasm to do it by the time I finished. So, yeah. There's nothing wrong with there being attractive women in games and attractive men in games. The same within movies and in comics. If this offends you, that says more to me you are... Like, if you're a woman and you take offense with this kind of stuff, that says more to me that you are insecure. This makes you insecure and you have to tear something else down to make yourself feel better. Just as if a guy said the same thing about male characters, I would say you are insecure as a man. The only difference would be I say you are more pathetic if you're a guy and that stuff offends you. Actually, no, it's kind of equal patheticness for men and women who are made insecure by this crap. And I think that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to get this off my chest and just do something with it. Because, well, why not? It's my channel. I can say what I want on here. And, well, for the most part, I prefer not to piss too many people off, but there's a limit. Like, I still am a firm believer that you should not give a shit for the most part with what you do in life at times, but there are limits with me. But anyway, those are my thoughts on the matter. If you have a counter argument to this, let me know in the comments or respond to me in video form and just send me a link to the video, in which case I would like to hear it. Oh, and if you are one of those people who says, oh, this is teaching our young boys to see women as nothing but sex objects or stuff to vent their lust, so you're basically making the Jack Thompson argument. Which, by the way, that is a shallow argument, in my opinion. And if you say there have been studies that prove video games or media influences people in the world, yeah, those same studies then turn out to be bullshit years later. So you are making an argument that media influence, like, only a mentally like, you have to have a fucked up mind for video games to influence you that way. That is my take on it. You do not. I talked to some people who disagree with me on this. I'm pretty sure Pyro would disagree with me on this. But that I like to believe humans are not that pathetically stupid or that easily influenced. Not all of them, anyway. Some of them would not surprise me because the world is full of stupid people. Like the people who argue against, who bitch about women being attractive in games. They are stupid. They probably should be subjected to a mental asylum. Or for their condemnation of women in video games. And actually there's one more thing I forgot to say before I really end the video, which is these characters are kind of empowering women figures. Because if you went back to when, like in the 90s or the 80s when video games were starting, the Puritans, and these were probably the same people who were once about empowering women, but now that it's video games and they have children, are like, oh, children shouldn't be, well, then you shouldn't be giving them the games. I find these characters way more female empowering characters than most modern feminists. Like, we used to have feminist figures who were respectable and stood for something I probably would have been like, yeah, I can get behind that. I mean, granted, I wouldn't mind getting behind a woman in general for different reasons and circumstance, but hey, joking, of course. But now it's just, no, I should probably say this for the feminist rant, but yeah, I find these female characters in games more empowering of female characters because it shows them having agency. And they make they pursue things they want. And sometimes they involve the main character in what they're doing. I don't know, I find that way more empowering than, I don't know, Trigglypuff or Big Red or Zoe Quinn, who has a body count, I might add. Or some other Armenian bitch who shall remain nameless. But anyway, that's my video. If you want to see the stream I mentioned, I will leave a link to it in the description. And yeah, have a nice day. Remember, the game was rigged from the start.